Hey guys, okay, today I wanted to talk about something that I feel like everybody who has ever tried to do anything has experienced at some point, and that is imposter syndrome. Like, what do you do if you have a thing that you want to do and you just feel like you doing it, you like feel like you're playing office or just pretending, or you're like, is anyone even gonna take me seriously? Because like I don't even take myself seriously right now. Or like those questions of like coming up of like, who am I to do this, like who am I to charge for this? Like, I know a lot of us, when we start charging for like our art or our work, like when I first started as a photographer, I remember the first shoot I ever did was for a band, and like I don't even know how they found me, but they like sent me a DM and they were like, hey, do you want to shoot like photos for us? And I was like, yeah, of course. And then they were like, what do you charge? And I was like, oh my god, I don't, like, people are gonna pay me to take photos? Like, I was like, I love taking photos, I do it in my spare time. Like, and I think I came up with something like $100, and I thought it was so amazing. Like, I was like, oh my god, someone's gonna pay me $100 to go and shoot photos. And but I just remember like all this fear coming up around like when I went to go and send like that message, and like hoping like, oh my god, what if they think I'm charging too much? Like, is that crazy? Like, I only just started doing this. Like, all those fears kind of start coming up for us, and we need to know that when like that first thing is like, okay, like who am I to do this? Like, who are you not to? Like, whatever the thing is that you are desiring to do, like that desire is yours for a reason. You're meant to be doing it. Like, because you want to do that, it means that you're meant to do it. Like, you wouldn't have that desire if like if it wasn't meant for you. Like, who are you not to, basically? Like, not everyone has the desires to do the thing that you want to do, and because you have it, that means you're supposed to be doing it. So it's like, just like, I know that one is sometimes really hard to get over, but we just have to keep overriding those beliefs and like changing our minds and being like, okay, like I meant to do this, like who am I not to do this? Like, you just, like, a belief is just a thought you've been thinking over and over and over again. So like, if that's the thought you've been thinking, you can change the thought you're thinking, and you can just consciously be like, I don't believe that anymore, this is what I'm choosing to believe. And the way that your brain starts to understand things is through repetition and through like getting it into your subconscious. And when it's in your subconscious, then you're able to like act it out almost automatically, if you will. And you just have to keep reminding yourself, like, this is what I believe now. I believe that I'm meant to be doing this, and so because I believe that, how am I going to act? And it takes practice sometimes. Like, you have to catch yourself doing it, and that's totally okay. Like, it's not like you need to be able to do it overnight, but it's just that constant reminder of like, no, this is what I believe now, and because this is what I believe, this is how I'm going to act. And then also, when it comes to feeling like you're an imposter, it's like, okay, well, if you're teaching someone or helping someone with something, we can probably assume that you know more than they do. And it's like, you don't need to have like a PhD in whatever it is. You don't even need a PhD like to help people or do what your thing is, unless you're a doctor, then you do. But you know what I mean? Like, even like student doctors help people because those people still need help from someone. And so it's like, you are still able to help the person that's just a little bit behind you, or able to help the person that doesn't know the thing. Or some people, like, maybe their budget doesn't allow for them to go for like a full-fledged professional who's been doing it for 20 years, but you're like starting and you're good enough and you're able to help them. So you're still able to both serve each other's needs. I think we live in a society that is so cultured around like the only way to be valid in doing the thing that you want to do is that like some institution has given you a piece of paper and it's like, oh, okay, you're allowed to do this thing now. And here's the funny thing is, sometimes like you get that paper and you still don't think that you're worthy of doing the thing. Like, how many people do you know that like they just keep studying, or like keep getting more and more certifications because they think it's going to make them more qualified to do the thing they do? And it's not that I'm saying don't go and learn more things, but if you the reason behind you going and getting more and more certifications is because you think that you'll feel more worthy when you have them. Like, then it becomes like, it's not about the piece of paper, it's about how worthy you feel of having what your desire is. And like, that's really where it all stems from. Like, there is no one that's gonna like come out of the air and be like, you know what, you're not qualified to be a photographer, or like whatever your thing is. Like, there's no one gonna come out of the air and like do this, or like tell you that you're not like qualified enough to do this. Like, with the caveat of like, I guess some jobs where it's like you do need professional certification, like to be a doctor or a lawyer or a nurse, or like when like people's safety is kind of a consideration. Like, in that case, yes, you do need a piece of paper and you can't practice that illegally. But like, I'm more talking about like if you are starting a business or something and you just are like, you know, it's your passion and you love doing it and you want to help people, but you just don't feel like you're worthy of helping people. And that's when we really need to stop looking at it being, am I worthy enough of helping people, and being like, I'm here to serve people, and like, how can I serve the people that I want to help to the best of my ability. Like, it stops becoming about you and starts becoming about them. Like, and we need to take the focus like off of ourselves and how worthy we feel of doing the thing, and putting it on like being like, I know enough to help this person and I'm going to help them to the best of my ability. Because like, what if someone came to you and they really needed help and you were just like, you know what, I don't feel qualified to do this thing, even though you are. Like, I'm saying this like, it's like you are qualified to do it, but you're just scared about your ability, kind of thing. And you're like, no, I don't believe in myself enough, so I'm not going to help you. And it's like, well, then where does that leave that person? Like, if you just keep doing that over and over, if that becomes your pattern, you'll never help anyone. And it's like, the pattern that you want to create for yourself is like being like, okay, well, I don't know everything I need to know right now, but I'm willing to learn, and like doing the best that you can at the point that you are with what you know in this point in time, and knowing that it's always going to be a lifelong journey. You're always going to be learning more. You're going to be getting better. The only way to get better is to practice doing whatever it is you want to be doing. So you can't just think that like one day you're just magically going to feel good enough and qualified and like an expert in your field if you don't do all the work that it takes to become that thing. Like, there's no shortcut to being good at what you do. Like, it's just taking the time and willing to kind of work with your ego and say, okay, thank you for trying to keep me safe. Because at the end of the day, that's all it is your ego is like, oh, you're trying to do a thing you've never done before. I'm a little bit scared for you. Like, you've never done it. Like, I don't know if I trust you. And what if you like fuck it up? And like, your ego only ever wants you to like survive. It doesn't want you to thrive. So you have to like thank your fear instead of getting angry at it. Like, just noticing that judgment and being like, okay, thank you for showing me that. Like, that means I'm at the edge of my comfort zone. That's a good thing, because you don't want to stay in your comfort zone, because like nothing good happens to you there. And just being like, okay, thank you for showing me that. Like, I'm willing to keep moving forward, and just asking the universe for guidance, being like, what's my next step? Like, show me what I need to know next. Show me the person I need to learn from. Like, okay, I've realized that in this area I don't feel super strong. Like, how can I learn more in that area? How can I find someone to teach me? Like, could I look up stuff online? Could I watch videos? Could I hire a coach? Like, whatever it is that is going to help you learn on your path. But just knowing that at the beginning, like, no one feels like they know what they're doing. Like, I hate the term fake it till you make it, but it's more just like, okay, like, imagine where you want to be when it's like done. Like, we're never done, but like, imagine like your vision for the future of how you want it to look when you have created the thing that you want to create, and be like, okay, well, how is that version of me acting? Like, how do they think about this? What are they doing? Like what actions are they taking? Like, what do they believe about themselves? And trusting that like you taking those forward steps is gonna be the thing that makes you feel qualified. It's gonna be the thing that makes you like realize that you're like, oh, I do know what I'm doing, or I know enough to help the person behind me, or I know enough to help this person that doesn't know anything about this. And that's more what it's about. It's more about like knowing that you still have space to like move forward in, but knowing that you probably know more than the person that you're trying to help, so that makes you qualified to do it. Like, I think school really teaches us that we always need to be asking for permission. Like, we just get so raised in this thing where it's like in school you literally have to be like asking to go to the bathroom, like you have to ask permission for everything. And in real life it's not like that. Like when you work for yourself, there's no one to ask. Like no one is going to come down out of the sky and be like, today you're finally qualified to do the thing that you want to do. So you just kind of have to start giving yourself that permission. You have to be like, okay, like I'm doing the best I can with what I know right now, and I know that me doing it is going to be the thing that teaches me. Like it's that life experience. It's like the experience doing the thing you want to do. Like when you go to school or class, it's kind of like the training wheels are on and you're in that environment and you're learning about it, but then at some point we do need to go out into the real world, and there is risk and there's a chance that things might not work the way you want it to, but trusting that you're always gonna figure it out. Like there's nothing you can't come back from. Like no matter what happens, having that trust in yourself that you're always gonna figure it out and you're always gonna learn from it, and yeah, just trusting that it's always going to work itself out. So I hope that helps. Let me know in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys later.